And we are live. What is going on, everyone? It's Johnny Dunn, and we are back with another one today. Epic veve live stream. Today, we just had the OUP article announced just hours ago. The OMI Utility Program. I think it was amazing. I did watch it one time through. It's about 40 minutes long. I did give it one watch, but there's just a lot to unpack, so we're going to rewatch the entire video today. And I want to hear your thoughts. Leave some feedback in the comments, the live chat. The whole team wants to hear everybody's feedback on it. And shout out to Reese, Adam, the whole Ecomi team. They did an amazing job for a really, really long time preparing this, and it's finally out today. So let's dive right into it, guys. Let me know if you guys can hear it okay and everything like that in the live chat. And let's get this thing started. The OMI Utility Program article. Amazing things ahead, guys.
Ecomi fam, it is finally time to start talking about the OMI token and the OMI utility program. Now, before we get there, I just want to extend a huge thank you to everybody, not only for their patience, but for all of their contributions and all of the ideas that have come in since we released the first version of the OUP. Without all of your help, it wouldn't be what it is today, and I really look forward to collecting your feedback on what we've put together. So before we get started, big thank you to everybody for that. I'd also like to extend a special thank you and shout out to Adam, without whom this program would not have been as comprehensive as it is right now. So massive thank you to him for all of his assistance up until this point and moving forward. What I'm showing you today is the OMI token portal, right? And this is really designed to be the new front door or homepage for the OMI token, right? And I've tried to compartmentalize all of the OMI token information into really easy to understand sections. I look forward to collecting your feedback as to how easy that is. But it's really designed for you to discover everything there is to know about the OMI token, whether you're new here or you've been around the fam for a while. So that includes things like the token metrics, contract address details, how you can buy OMI, where you can store OMI, how and where you can use it in the veve app, being part of the OMI utility program, and of course how you can use your tokens everywhere else in the ecosystem, whether it's play to earn gaming, play to burn gaming, or anything else that the fam comes up with. So I'm really excited to showcase this to you today, and then we'll get into the OMI utility program. Now, I just want to point out that this portal is designed to be constantly updated, whether that's with new information or we alter the information that's there to make it easier to understand. Now, that does include some of the numbers and the features that we have in the OMI utility program, because of course we want your feedback. And there's plenty of opportunity for you to submit your feedback through the portal if you can't join us for an Ecomi AMA. All right, fam, let's get into it. This is your first appearance of the OMI token portal, and I'll give you a brief overview before we dive into the sections. So you can see here at the top that we have all that pertinent information, the last time the portal was updated, our most recent announcements and blog posts, and of course, whenever the next Ecomi AMA is scheduled. Obviously, once this goes live, we will be taking all of your questions in as many places and formats as possible. We then have the OMI 101 section, which we'll get into in a moment. As I mentioned, this is your front door for the OMI token, where you can find everything you need to know about the token and direct new people to the fam here if they've never heard of it before. After which we will go through the OMI utility program. Quick glance there before we get there. This is just a placeholder for the veveverse. Just be aware of that. We'll come to it later. And of course, then we have all of our social links and a community directory so that you can find the Ecomi fam, the veve fam, and anybody who creates content about our project.
That's an amazing thing right there. I don't want to keep pausing the all video, but the fact that they made a directory, that has the whole Ecomi veve fam in there, absolutely amazing. That's just brings the whole community together even closer. So
let's get to it. We'll dive into the OMI 101 sections, just a very brief overview so you understand what is here, and then we'll dive into the OMI utility program. What the heck is OMI? All right, we have short answers, we have long answers. You can find all of the token details and metrics here, the supply details, both the original metrics and the current supply metrics. Obviously, we have burnt and deflated the token supply by quite a lot since this began. Here you'll also find details on what you can do with OMI tokens. That means whether it's in veve or in the wider wider community, and more specifically, how you can use OMI tokens in the veve app. Now, this is a very brief overview of some of the OUP features, but I would recommend that you take the time to go through the entire OMI utility program to truly understand how these features will work and interact with each other. Now, I will take every chance that I get to remind you that you cannot send OMI tokens from an exchange to your veve wallet. Okay, veve lives on layer 2. OMI tokens that you purchase or store on an exchange are on layer 1.
Just to reiterate that, cannot send your OMI tokens from the exchange to the veve app OMI wallet. You have to bridge them first. The veve OMI wallet is layer 2, just to keep that, make you aware.
Now, you do risk losing them if you send them to your veve app before you bridge them. So just pay attention to that. There are plenty of instructions here, and we'll go through them as we go through this. So, brief overview of OMI, what it is, where you can use it. Same thing with veve. A brief overview of veve, what it's used for, what you can do with it, some highlights, how you can find all of the veve resources to learn more about that if you are new here, including types of transactions, veve content creators, and anything that's applicable there. Similarly, what can I do with OMI tokens? As I mentioned, this is really a broad level overview of where you can use your tokens. Play to earn gaming, play to burn gaming, watch to burn, learn to burn, and premium veve analytics, as well as where you can use the token inside the veve app. Where can you buy OMI? This is very crucial. And I understand that up until this point, a lot of our information is very fractured. It's across the blog and socials and old articles, so I'm really trying to bring everything under one roof. Now, this includes centralized exchanges, decentralized exchanges, token swaps, if you're using MetaMask or Coinbase. And within each section, I've listed each exchange, and if there were community content guides, as in anybody has made content about how to use a particular exchange, you'll see that those guides are included here. Okay, we have the original announcement article, any guides in English, French, German, and everything else. So if you have created a guide on how to use a particular exchange, or you want to create one now, please let us know and send it to us, and we'll add it to this list. It can be in any language that you choose. Now, similarly, decentralized exchanges, as some of you will know, Uniswap is the only DEX that we are currently listed on. We do have a community-run Uniswap pool, which you can choose to contribute liquidity to if you would like to. And there are instructions there on how to go about it. There's also instructions on token swaps. And again, same as the centralized exchanges, I have included some guides here on how to swap ETH or USDC or whatever the token is you happen to have for OMI tokens, which we can now do thanks to being on Ethereum. Once you've purchased your OMI tokens, you will, of course, want to know how and where you can store them safely. So we have an entire resource here that will not only educate you as to the important parts of crypto security, right, and the most important part being your seed phrase, but also the differences between hot and cold wallets, what is an Ethereum wallet, where you can store these things, is it safe to leave your tokens on an exchange, and of course, how and where you can store your tokens in the veve app. Now you'll see here there are detailed instructions. These are already on the Ecomi blog, but I have broken them down just to be a bit more succinct and help you to find the direction that you are trying to go in. So please start with the difference between layer 1 and layer 2 if you are new to this kind of technology. And if you follow these instructions step by step, you will make it through the bridging process, no problem. Now, a key part of the OMI 101 section, of course, is really bringing together all of the components of the utility program and community initiatives that serve to deflate the OMI token supply over time. As many of you know, all of the token unlocks are now complete. All tokens have been vested. So the circulating supply of tokens that is currently available is the maximum supply of tokens that will ever be available. So take the time to go through this, understand how this system is going to remove OMI tokens from circulation, be it through the OMI utility program and the veve token system, or community initiatives. Now you will find here some system schematics, and we'll go through this in the OUP section. but you can absolutely toggle your way through these to find the individual components.
And guys, if you're trying to find this link to this article right now, I just put the link in the description of the actual OUP article itself, so you can find the original video and the link to the article in the description of this video.
And you'll see them broken down more specifically on the OMI Utility Program pages. This is also a great resource to find our community partnerships and initiatives, whether they were initiated by us or the community just took charge and began burning OMI tokens. So please take the time to look at those, support our creators in the fam, and support burning OMI from the supply. It really benefits everybody at the end of the day. Now, the last section of the OMI 101 that I really want to highlight is our community directory. As many of you know, there are some incredible content creators in the fam, both on the Ecomi side and the veve sides of the house, but it can be really hard to find content creators that you connect with or whose content you really enjoy. So this is designed just to bring all of the content creators into one place so that you as a viewer can come here and select anybody you would like to watch. In the Ecomi section, we have content creators that are dominantly focused on Ecomi and OMI content, but of course we know that most of you will reference veve and veve collectibles at some point because they are directly tied to each other. Now please don't panic if your profiles are not included here. The ones that made it into this directory so far commented on a Twitter thread a few months ago, so I tried to include everybody that was there. But of course, we have a Google form now at the bottom of these pages so that you can submit or request to update your profiles. We made it, fam. The OMI Utility Program. So you can access this from the home page of the OMI token portal. And we've broken out each section here so that you can quickly reference those guides as well. What each feature is, what we'll need for it, our development roadmap, a quick reference guide so that you can come and pull out all of the numbers and figures that you need. And we also have a section for wish lists, ideas that we've kicked around or that the community has provided since version 1 came out. There's also some feedback forms there, and I really implore you to fill those out so that we can really gauge the features that people are excited for and take a look at anything that needs to be updated or possibly tweaked. But to kick off the OMI Utility Program, I would suggest you start here, as the title says. And this really just gives a little bit of an intro and some background into what the OMI Utility Program is, the goals that we're really aiming for here. You can watch another little video there that explains this as well. And then we compartmentalize our utility program info into 2 main categories. We have primary activities, which is where you are transacting with veve in some capacity. And we have secondary activities, which is where you are obviously transacting with another veve collector. And I think that that really helps to segment information, although there is, of course, a lot of crossover between them. So go through them in order, and I will today as well. We'll go through each feature, and then I'll show you how it all ties into the OUP staking program so that everybody understands where this is headed.
And again, guys, this is something that you want to constantly go back to and look over a few different times. I don't think this is going to be one thing where you just read it once and you can just, kind of comprehend every single thing there. I think it's a thing that you got to kind of read it over a few different times to really understand how complex this really is.
All right, let's get into it. Crypto to gem. Now, many of you may know this as the crypto pay-in feature. Similar to the way you currently use your credit card to purchase gems in the app, you will soon be able to use other cryptocurrencies such as Bitcoin, Ethereum, USDC, anything like that,
Huge.
To acquire gems, which you can then use inside the app.
Right there alone, it's going to add so much liquidity, in my opinion, to the platform. People can use, finally, their cryptocurrency that they may hold tons of ETH, Bitcoin, you name it. So
now this is a massive boon, I think, for the market. Right? It should help to add some liquidity and bring in new users and really bring in a bit more of the traditional crypto space who may not have come to us yet. But what this actually does, on any incoming transaction, any crypto to gem transaction, there is a 3% fee. And that fee will pay the payment provider service fee. And the remainder of it goes into what we call the OMI to gem pool. Okay, so just as an example here, if the fee is 3% and the payment provider fee is 1%, then 2% of that will go into the OMI to gem pool. And I'm really excited to share that with you because the OMI to gem pool actually returns the ability to buy gems with OMI tokens, which is one when I am very happy to tick off the list and be able to return. Big. So let's dive into that. Now, this will make more sense as we get to the next page, the OMI to gem page. But I just want to take a moment to point out that the OMI to gem pool is really going to become a core piece of the utility program and everything we do moving forward. So initially, the team has opted to fund this pool with $1 million worth of gems, 1 million gems. They will be redeemable for OMI tokens, and obviously all of those tokens are then permanently removed from circulation. We will also be feeding this pool with the crypto to gem pay-in feature, the fees collected there, and some additional fees will supplement it through the OMI utility program, which we will get to. So take the time to look at this. You can also see here, as I mentioned earlier, we broke down these schematics just so you understand which part of the overall token system this feature applies to. OMI to gem. I'm really excited to share this with you because it was one of our original tokenomic designs and obviously gave OMI token holders a way to get into the veve app and use their tokens to buy collectibles. Now, there's a whole range of reasons that had to be removed from the original plans, but thankfully we have found a really creative way to reintroduce that token utility.
OMI to gem is back.
So as I just mentioned, these gems are funded initially by the team with $1 million worth of gems. Then they'll be primarily funded through the fees collected on crypto pay-in and supplemented through OUP seller fees, which we'll get to. Now, when you're going through this portal, you can jump straight to those sections to understand what we're talking about, but I would still recommend taking the time to progress through this in order to really understand what's happening. Again, we have all of our numbers and details here on these schematics. And when staking is live, you will actually get a tier discount on the gems you purchase. So if you're at staking tier 5, you'll have a 2.5% discount on purchasing gems. It makes it a little bit cheaper to use your OMI tokens to acquire those gems. And of course, no fees apply to purchasing these gems because it's really designed to let OMI token holders get into the app and to deflate that circulating supply. Now, the OMI to gem feature isn't just exciting because it brings back our originally planned utility, being that you can enter the app using your OMI tokens. But it also serves as a really creative way to replace the buybacks. Now, I don't think this will be a surprise to anyone, but the regulatory clarity around buybacks is still such a grey area that it's just been decided to remove them from the system so that we can move forward fully with this utility program. Now, as we have mentioned to you in the past, if this was the case, we would do something that had an equal to or greater impact on the circulating supply of tokens than the buybacks would have. And you can come here to find all of the numbers. But as you will see, based on the daily price of OMI and veve store revenue, this is net revenue as we designed, the original buyback model would have removed about 3 billion OMI tokens from the circulating supply. Now, the system was obviously never able to be fully implemented, so instead we've taken the gross revenue figure of all store sales dating back to the beginning of veve and averaged them against the daily price of OMI over that time. So we'll actually be burning 5.6 billion tokens from the Business Development Fund. Now that reduces the circulating supply of OMI tokens by a massive 1.8% and also reduces the company Business Development Fund by about 13%. Now, as I mentioned, in addition to burning those tokens, we will be funding the OMI to gem pool with another $1 million worth of gems on top, which will also serve to remove circulating supply of OMI tokens. So you can come here, see the numbers, see how we've explained it, and of course ask us any questions, but it should be pretty clear once you visit this page. OUP ticketing system is something really new compared to the first version that we introduced.
Gold, silver, bronze tickets are about to explode.
And it's designed to add a fun layer of gamification to the app, but also give you ways to out-strategize other collectors, build your veve NFT collections, and all of these are offered as staking rewards as well, which we will get to. So, in the first version of the OUP, we had what is now the bronze tickets. Now, the bronze tickets can be purchased with OMI tokens. Effectively, you are burning $1 worth of OMI for one bronze ticket, and those tickets can be redeemed for an additional spot in the veve waitlist. So if there's a digital collectible drop that you really want to get your hands on, you can go in, grab a bunch of bronze tickets, submit them to the drop, and increase your chances of landing that collectible. Once those bronze tickets are purchased with OMI, those tokens go permanently out of circulation. So once you have acquired a bronze ticket, you have to use it. Now, bronze tickets don't expire, so that's one important thing to note. And at the moment, we're planning for them to be transferable. So if you'd like to do giveaways or anything like that, bronze tickets will really become your ticket to doing that.
Your literal ticket. Like
Silver that. OUP tickets. Now, silver tickets let you waive the buyer fee for any single transaction in the OUP. Now, this will make a bit more sense as we get into the staking tiers and all of that. But silver tickets may be the difference between you making a transaction or not, and it may help you to build your collection. Now, silver tickets are non-transferable and non-refundable. However, you can trade silver and gold OMI tickets on the marketplace. It will only be available for trading in OMI tokens, but if I'm in a higher staking tier and I receive silver or gold tickets and I don't want to spend them myself, I can always trade those with other users. So just keep an eye out for that as the plan develops.
It's going to get fun, man.
Similarly, gold tickets, once they're available in the app, are designed to help you build your NFT collection. So a gold ticket can be redeemed in a veve waitlist drop, and it effectively guarantees you a collectible reservation. Now, the only thing that might change that is if there are more golden tickets submitted than there were collectibles available. And if that is the case, you will still be randomly selected amongst the gold ticket holders. And if you do not receive a collectible reservation, you will have your gold ticket refunded.
I could see that happening on a crazy popular but crazy scarce character or something like that that drops. You know, like a 1 of 50 or something crazy like that, and it's insanely popular. Could be a lot of gold tickets used on that one.
So take the time to go through this page closely. We have all of the rules and all of the guidelines set out here, as you see. Now, it's important to understand that while bronze tickets do not expire, gold and silver tickets do. This will make more sense as we get into the staking program, but effectively, you will receive gold tickets or silver tickets in each staking season, or you can purchase them from the market in that season. But at the end of each season, both gold and silver tickets will expire. The benefits of bronze and gold OUP tickets may not make a lot of sense until you visit the veve drop waitlist page. This explains the new drop system that is coming to veve and effectively makes your bronze and gold tickets useful. Right? Now, as you will see here, we have details on how and where those tickets can be used and submitted, some rules around those, but please bear in mind some of these are subject to change as this system is actually developed. Now, at the moment, the intention is that a certain percentage will be held for gold ticket reservations or allocations, whereas the bronze tickets will help you, will give you more chances in the drop waitlist. At the end of each drop, we will definitely aim to post drop results so that you can see how many bronze tickets were submitted, both the highest and lowest amount that were awarded a collectible allocation, and similarly, how many gold tickets were entered into each drop as well. Burn reward points are really just a fun way to reward you as a token holder anytime you are using or spending your OMI tokens. Now, you can come to this page and understand which sections of the OUP will require you to spend OMI tokens, and the value of your burn reward points is equal to $1 worth of OMI burnt equals 1 point, and you'll be able to see those in a personal burn reward meter. Now, the idea here is that these points can be redeemed for a range of things inside the app, be it additional bronze tickets. You can also spend them on fast tracking through staking tiers. And this was really designed because staking is expected to be the last OUP feature rolled out, but there will be plenty of ways to use and spend your OMI tokens before we get there. So from the moment that you can use OMI in the app, you will have a burn rewards meter, it will start to accrue value based on the OMI that you are spending. And when staking is live, you can choose to use those points to fast track those tiers. OMI to NFT, another huge item that people have been waiting to hear more about. And now that we've effectively returned utility for OMI in the veve store, it's time to add it to the veve market. Now this page will detail everything you need to know about OMI to NFT, and that's really referring to collectibles and accessories when they are available. However, we have broken those out into a separate page. As you can see here, there are some basic rules, and there are some fees that will apply based on your staking tier. Right? Now that's important to understand, not only because you can move up the staking tier to pay less fees, it's also an incentive for staking tier progression, but it will affect everything you do inside the app. So the fees for buying and selling with OMI in the market are based on your staking tier. On the buyer side, there will be a fee paid in OMI tokens that is permanently burnt from circulation. Now on the seller side, there will be a gem fee that is paid that will fund the OMI to gem pool and help to supplement that. So effectively, 100% of the fee attached to any OMI transaction in the market will burn OMI tokens from the supply. Just depends on whether it happens at the time of transaction or whether it happens through an OMI to gem purchase later. Here you will see those fee tiers, which you'll also find in the staking tier. So if you're a no-tier staker and you are purchasing a collectible using OMI tokens, you will pay a 2.5% buyer's fee in OMI tokens. If you're a no-tier staker and you're selling a collectible for OMI tokens, you will pay a 2.5% gem fee that will contribute to the OMI to gem pool. Obviously, the higher the staking tier you are, the lower your fees are. So some incentive there to help you move up those rungs as well. Again, here is the OMI token flow schematic, just so you can see that 100% of buyer fees go to the reserve, 100% of seller fees go to the OMI to gem pool, and that breakdown of your fee tier depending on your staking.
We're going to get to that soon, Rio.
These listings will have to be market listings. They can't be auction listings, at least initially. And that's because through an auction listing, we can't determine the gem seller fee and we can't determine the licensing royalty fee ahead of time. So initially, all OMI listings in the marketplace will just be buy and sell listings, but this system will be under constant review, and we hope to remove some of those barriers to entry as time goes on. As I mentioned, OMI to accessory, very similar to the OMI to NFT page. There's an early veve demo here if nobody's seen it. But in the same fashion that you can list and trade items for OMI, collectible items, you'll be able to do that with accessory items as well. Now that we've run through the bulk of the features, it's important to understand how they all come together through the OUP staking program. Now, if you're new to crypto or new to the community and you don't know what staking is, effectively it just refers to locking some tokens up for some sort of perk or reward or in-app benefit. I've explained all of this here and some of the different examples of where you will see the term staking used, so if you are new, please take the time. And as you can see, there are a few components to the staking program, but I have tried to summarize them here for you if you do not want to go through all of the details. Staking tiers and fast tracking.
Here we go.
There are 5 staking tiers, and each one has a different dollar value of OMI tokens that you need to lock up in order to receive those tier benefits. Now, all stakers will start at tier 0, and you will have the choice to either stake some OMI tokens and begin the timer to unlock the next amount, or fast track through the tiers. Now, fast tracking literally means you will spend some OMI tokens in order to progress, but there are a range of reasons that people may want to progress through tiers faster, be it cheaper transaction fees, or progression bonuses, or the perks available at each tier. So take the time to look through these. I've explained those components here as to what each one is. You will also see the staking amount and the fast track cost.
Now, real quick, he's going to touch on this, but kind of what Rion was saying, the tier 5 is, $40,000 worth of OMI. Now, some people may see that and say, I can't afford that, too much money. But here's the thing, right? there's levels for a reason. Maybe, your tier is more tier 1 or 2, and that's perfectly fine. And the good thing about this is the people who do stake, the $40,000 worth of OMI, that's going to benefit everybody's in the ecosystem because they're locking up those tokens. So don't feel like you're missing out if you can't afford that. Do whichever level you feel is in your budget and then do your best to work your way up towards that. That's the way I look at it, because the people that are staking, tier 5, etc., that's helping the whole ecosystem out. So it's going to help everyone. Just to touch on that real quick. And you had a question about that, Rion?
Now, this fast track cost is just 20% of the next tier's staking value, and you can see here the unlock period. So if I stake $2,500 worth of OMI at tier 1, the timer will begin and it will take 15 days before tier 2 is unlocked. I can then increase my stake and begin enjoying the benefits of being a tier 2 staker. Similarly, I can wait 30 days for tier 3 to unlock and add to my stake. Now, if I want to rush straight from no tier to tier 4 or tier 5 in the very first staking season, I can also choose to fast track. And that will cost $2,000 or $4,000 worth of OMI, the total amount of which is burnt, permanently removed from circulation.
That's big. That's good right there. I know APB just got in the building and said he doesn't like that fast pass fee. The good news is it'll all be burned. And the other thing is, too, you can just wait the days. It's not really that big of a deal. I think the fast pass is really going to be for the big budget ballers out there.
There are also a range of rules around staking and unstaking, how each staking season works. Each season is 3 months or 1 quarter, when you can unstake, and all of those features. Now, just to point some of them out, there is a 10% early unstake penalty. So if you stake at any time during any staking season and then change your mind, you can withdraw your stake, but 10% of that stake will be sent permanently out of circulation. In the last 10 days of each season, we have a grace period. In that grace period, you can withdraw your stake at no penalty. Right? So everybody can get into staking and out of staking at no cost. However, you will forfeit the following season's rewards and perks, which we'll get to in a moment, which are issued after the end of season snapshot. So just be aware of that, and please take the time to read these rules so that you understand how it all takes place. Now, this staking schedule is just an example. Okay, it's not suggesting that we will start on January 1. As I mentioned earlier, staking is likely to be the last implementation of the OUP. But whenever it starts, this just gives you some insight into how those staking seasons run and when those snapshots will be taken. Of course, staking wouldn't be as exciting if you didn't know what you were getting. So let's take a quick look at these. Each season, we plan on issuing an exclusive but non-licensed digital collectible as a staking reward. Now, this can be a whole range of things. We can do artist collaborations and veve-related content, but these will be exclusive to OMI stakers. And the number of editions minted will actually depend on how many people are staking at each tier.
Right away, that made me think of, what if they got, an artist who they're really good friends with, who's, pretty popular, famous artist, and they did, a 1 of 50 Al Khan painting or something,
If I am a tier 5 staker, I will receive the tier 5 collectible reward and the entire set. So you'll actually receive tier 4s, 3s, 2, and 1. Whereas if you were a tier 2 staker, for example, you would receive your staking reward and the tier 1
I like that
staking reward collectible.
That way, tier 5, they get the full set. They get all the collectibles. That's pretty cool. I like that.
Now, as you can see here, from tier 3 and above, each season you will be issued with a golden ticket allocation. But I will take the time to point out that we want to collect your feedback on this. Do you think that these incentives are strong enough for you to progress those tiers? And just be aware that we can always tweak these numbers later to be more suitable. I would argue that we probably will once the staking program is live, when we actually have the data to determine which tiers are working, which incentives are strong enough, and which ones are not. Now, to supplement the seasonal staking rewards, we also have annual staking rewards for those participants who leave their stake untouched for a full 12 months, or who participate in the staking program and move their way through the tiers. Now, this does not matter if you were Tier 1 in Season 1, because your annual staking reward will be based on whichever tier you are in by the end of the year. So if you make it to Tier 4, you will receive the Tier 4 annual staking rewards and your Tier 4 seasonal staking rewards for that first season of Year 2. This also includes an allotment of OUP tickets and, of course, a more exclusive collectible allocation. And there are a few other ideas that we have to supplement the annual staking program, which will add to this over time. We also have a one-time progression bonus. So each time you move through a staking tier, you will receive an allotment of OUP tickets as an added award. Now, it's important to understand you can only receive these progression bonuses once. So if you stake at Tier 3 and unlock 30 bronze tickets, 2 silver and 1 gold, and then decide to unstake in that season, you won't lose the tier that you had already unlocked, but the next time you restake, you won't receive this bonus award. The last component of the OUP staking program is our quick reference guide. So you can come here and easily find the information that you need on each staking tier.
I like that. Short and simple, quick.
Be it Tier 1, Tier 4, Tier 5, including the progression rewards, buyer and seller fees, which collectibles you'll have access to, and everything else that is available to those tiers.
Definitely a luxury app. Luxury collecting
You'll also
app.
find our staking schematic, and as you can see here, 100% of fast tracking fees will be removed permanently from circulation, as is 100% of the early withdrawal fee. A reminder that that is 10% of your OMI stake if you withdraw outside of the grace period. Similarly, we have a quick reference guide for the entire OMI utility program. Again, you can scroll through each of these schematics to break down the components. You can also find all of the fee information on buyer and seller fees, which transactions they apply to, and of course our staking tiers and fast tracking quick reference guide and reward summaries. Another when bites the dust, fam. We finally have a development roadmap. Now, one thing I will point out here, these are all of the features coming or currently in development in the OUP, and some of these are core infrastructure and some of them are the features and utilities.
I like the fact that they have this. Lets everybody know, how much time they have left on some of these. Some people didn't like to see this because they said, wow, we still have forever to go. And yeah, it's not going to happen, tomorrow type thing. But in my opinion, this is actually a blessing in disguise. It shows you everything that's coming down the road. And it's showing us that it's not here just yet. So that tells me it's a huge opportunity, not financial advice. Nothing I say is ever, financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor, of course. But this just tells me this is a blessing in disguise, because when these things are all filled up, finished, ready to be launched, that's when there's going to be a lot of FOMO. And I'd rather be prepared for that moment.
So the more of the OMI logo that you see around each item, the more developed that it is, or the closer it is to completion. As you are probably aware, crypto to gem is quite close, and from the moment that that comes into effect, the OMI to gem pool will begin accruing value and accruing those gems. The veve waitlist drop system is also almost completed, and we will be running test drops by the end of this year. And some of the infrastructure has begun in order to buy OMI within the web app. Now, in addition to the roadmap, we have also added some color to the development path. Now, this is in no way an exhaustive list, but it is designed to give you some insight and some color into what it actually takes to design, scope, develop, and test each of these features before it makes it into any sort of beta testing, and then public testing, and then to the point where we're comfortable saying the feature is live and ready to use. Now, these pieces are what we consider to be the core infrastructure and features required before we can get into the actual OMI utilities. As many of you know, crypto to gem is close to completion and will likely be the first piece that goes live. And from that point, those fees will start accruing to the OMI to gem pool. We've detailed a few of the items that you should be aware of as to what is required for that feature to go live, and we've done the same thing in this entire development path. Again, not an exhaustive list, it is just designed to give you some insight into this process. Before we can get to the OMI utility features, we also need to build layer 2 infrastructure. So that actually means layer 2 spot wallet infrastructure and layer 2 staking wallet infrastructure. And that will operate in a similar way to a crypto exchange, where all of the transactions take place in these spot wallets and then are eventually committed on-chain when you withdraw to your personal wallet. So we need that first before staking can go live. We need it before any real layer 2 OMI transactions can take place. And of course, the third core component is the burn rewards points tracker. Now this needs to be live by the time the first OMI feature is live in the app, so that anything you spend your OMI tokens on, you will start to accrue those burn reward points. When we get to the utility systems, these are the fun parts where you can use your OMI tokens, we have a bit more flexibility. And we'll look for your feedback and opinions to determine which features you would like to see developed first. There may be some reasons as to the order that we have to do things in, but where available, we will look for your input. So keep an eye out for an upvote option. We will obviously announce this on our socials as we get closer to this implementation. But if you take the time to go through each feature, you will see the prerequisites to build each feature. For example, layer 2 spot wallet for OMI's NFT. And you'll be able to understand a bit more of the plan, the roadmap, and how it will all develop. Below that, you'll find what we call the extras. And these aren't items that are left out. They're just items that are a little less integral to this entire system. So we're talking OMI to accessory, and there's obviously a lead time there in creating and indexing all of those accessory items. Premium market listings, which will come later as well, and of course the renting of collectibles. Now, as more details become available, we will add information to this development path, and of course update our main roadmap schematics so that you can see what pieces are being worked on and when. The last section of the OMI token portal that I really want to highlight is this wish list and proposal section. Now, as you know, we always look for your feedback when we're designing these systems, and we really hope that you will continue to provide that to us so that we can build an effective utility program that everybody enjoys and wants to use. Now, on this page, we will maintain a couple of lists. The first one is for open items and ideas. And we've thrown in a bunch of examples and pieces that we have discussed in the past 9 months, 12 months, reasons as to why they have or haven't been included potentially, considerations if we were to include them. And fundamentally, this is because the utility program that we are putting forward today will continue to grow. Once we build these features, we will look to the next range of features to add to make your OMI tokens even more usable and versatile in our own ecosystem. So take a look at these before you send in your feedback, just to see if we've already mentioned them and any reasons why. And then, of course, please submit yours if you have them. We also ask that you submit questions, ideas, feedback, if there are any broken links. If anything is not explained clearly enough or well enough, please let me know so that I can update that and make it easier for everybody to understand. But once you've had time to really digest the utility program and think about this from your own point of view, we're also opening up the option to submit an OUP IP, or an OMI Utility Program Improvement Proposal. Now, this can give us suggestions as to how we may change some of the already existing features, or it can be a brand new utility or idea that we may not have thought of. But if you're submitting an OUP IP, I really implore you to take the time and consider this from all angles. How would it work? What would it require from a development point of view? Is it actually feasible to implement? Will it help you collect on veve? You know, all of those pieces that need to feed into these items before they can be considered. But if you have all of that together and you would like to submit an OUP IP, you can do this live in the form right on this page. There you have it, friends. The OMI token portal and the OMI utility program in a nutshell. I really look forward to discussing this with you. So please join us for the next Ecomi AMA, which you will be able to find on the homepage of the OMI token portal. In the meantime, have a fantastic weekend. take some time to digest all of this information, and we'll chat about it next week. See you then.
Man, great job, Reese, presenting that information. I know it was a lot to handle, and you just absolutely crushed it. You know, you did it in a really, really amazing way too. It was not complex. You made it really simple for everybody, or as simple as possible for everyone. So, amazing job, Reese, Adam, the whole Ecomi team who put that together. What'd you guys think, fam? Once this gets uploaded to the actual channel, I want you guys, if you could, actually leave some comments instead of just putting in the live chat like you guys were doing all video. And really leave some comments to let the Ecomi team know, you know, how are you feeling about this? You know, are you guys liking it, disliking it? What are some things that really stuck out to you that you enjoyed? Maybe some things that you could add to it. Like I know APB, you had a couple suggestions. Maybe some extra rewards or a different kind of reward system. If you could stake for a full year type thing, right? So definitely want to hear your guys' feedback in the on the comments or in the comments. So appreciate you guys big time. Look forward to next week a bunch of different live stream videos with a bunch of different content creators on the channel. I think it's gonna be a fun week. So like they said, you know, take this weekend to enjoy your collectibles in AR. No drops this weekend, and really dive into this OMI Utility Program article a few different times. This is only my second time really watching it again, and it's still a lot to kind of comprehend, right? There's a lot to unpack in this. So I think it's just one of those articles where you can send it to your friends, family, let them know what OMI really is, how it's being used in the future, all the, you know, different things to look forward to. So I'm going to wrap this one up. Appreciate you guys big time for tuning in. I know I had trouble streaming with the audio in the first, second, and even third live stream on StreamYard. I don't know what's going on with StreamYard. It's just not working. So decided I wanted to make sure I put this one out for everyone. So if you guys haven't tuned into the original video, the link is in the description. You know, run up some likes on it, some extra views, and check out the article too, because the article is the main thing about this, and the article link is in the description too. So with all that being said, guys, I'm signing out. It's your boy, Johnny Dunn. We out, fam.